So, Bayern Munich versus, who was it against? Borussia Mönchengladbach, the bogey team. And again, we had a bad result. And I'm very unhappy. I'm just unhappy with all facets of this game. I'll go through some of the big plays of this game and my thoughts on these decisions by Bayern Munich. My thoughts on Nagelsmann's decisions. I was unhappy with the subs. Yet again, his subs are shambolic, and this was seen yet again. We'll go through the lineups, we'll go through these big moments, and a loss in the Bundesliga. Now Union Berlin could overtake us in the Bundesliga. Dortmund, if they beat Hertha, will be within 0 points of us. They'll be on the same points of us. So we are not secure in the Bundesliga now, and it is very worrying. So let's look at this lineup. So it was this I'm going to have to move the camera here slightly, sorry. It was this 3-5-2 kind of formation, Kimmich in here. And I can't really talk about this much because Upamecano was... Oh, sorry, it's not De Ligt, it's Blind. I was blinded by De Ligt. But no, anyway, so it was Upamecano in here. Upamecano, of course, got the red card. We'll talk about that. Kimmich, Goretzka, Gravenberch, it didn't really make much sense because within one of these two positions, you want players like Sane, like Musiala, so at least one of them, maybe not two centre mids. It made it a bit too static. Gnabry at right wing, yet again, at right wing back. That's not his best position. He doesn't like to play there. I just didn't like it, and as we saw versus PSG, he didn't track those runs that well in the right wing back. Just an overall uninspired performance. Davies was good bombing forward. He was important with his pace, but overall it just wasn't a great tactic. Of course, Muller got subbed very early. Choupo-Moting was good with his movement in and around the box, but it all changed because of that Upamecano, of what happened to him. So let's talk about that in more detail. So Upamecano, Upamecano was, you see Upamecano here, and I think Upamecano did foul him. If he gets contact on him, it is a foul, and therefore it is fair enough, I thought, this decision of a red card. But the real problem lies with Sommer, I think. Sommer should be all the way out here at the ball. If the ball comes over the top, Neuer already has a starting position here. See, Sommer is nowhere to be seen, where Neuer usually would be here. And that would mean, if Neuer was there, then Neuer would be able to quickly come and get the ball. So I think this was a Jan Sommer disaster class, helping his old club. He's an agent for his old club, so that was very distressing, and I think Sommer should have done better. Upamecano shouldn't have made contact with the guy. The second you make contact, it is a foul, so I can have no complaints about this one. Now, let's talk about the first Borussia Mönchengladbach goal. So you see here, all Bayern players are marking players in the marking the other players, but there's one man left free right on the edge of the box, and it just takes a simple cut back, and Sommer is beaten at his near post firstly, so that shouldn't happen. So Sommer had a bit of a disaster class. What is Jan Sommer doing? But not only will I criticize Sommer, I'll criticize where's the defensive leadership here. If someone like De Ligt would say, oh, this is a free man, someone take him. Where are the players who are defensive leaders, the type of people like David Alaba in the past? We're missing that in this backline. They're just zonally marking, but they're not marking an important zone, in an important area where there's just a free man to take the box. So it's school ground defending from Bayern, really poor, and Bayern should have done much better. Now let's talk about the open midfields. So when the midfield sometimes was Joshua Kimmich coming in between the two centre backs, because at some points after Upamecano was injured, and you see here that creates gaps in the midfield, so therefore Gladbach could play in these gaps in the midfield, and then when Kimmich does step up, it creates space in behind. And I also want to talk about Daley Blind. So Daley Blind, I actually really like him, but he's a really slow player. Even here you can see how slow he's running, and the reason why this is not a good thing with 10 men is because there were so many open spaces. So in my opinion, Daley Blind should have been the first player to get subbed he should have been subbed for De Ligt, because De Ligt would have been able to deal with these open spaces. And you see such an open space here. Maybe De Ligt deals with it. Maybe a faster player deals with it. But because Daley Blind is not very fast, he cannot deal with it. And also, even still going kind of in an all-out attack mode, even when we were a man down, you see Davies here when he could be marking this player. I'm not sure it's the right tactic by Nagelsmann. Maybe Nagelsmann should have just done a back four, get Davies back, maybe Daley Blind or De Ligt, Pavard and then Cancelo. Do a back four, do two-man midfield, and then three in attack with Choupo-Moting and a left wing, right wing. I think that would have been the way to go forward instead of this, which created so many spaces open in the back. There's only 3 defenders, but that left really only one midfielder and wide open spaces in the midfield as Kimmich was covered. And when there was only 2 defenders, then it created spaces all on the wide, which Daley Blind Pavard had to cover, creating more space in the middle. And this is how the 2 Gladbach goals happened after. They were just crosses into the box. There were spaces in behind. Daley Blind Pavard couldn't handle it, but it wasn't their fault. They were given a bad chance to handle it. Finally, let's talk about Blind again. You see here, Blind is caught out of position, and therefore they can just cross the ball. There's a wide open space because the defense was so open. This is what I was talking about. So maybe faster player than Daley Blind, but Daley Blind had to push forward because the midfield was overexposed. So Bayern should have gone more conservative, in my opinion. But let's talk in more detail about some of the other subs. So in the other subs, there was Thomas Muller, of course, who was subbed off, and I'm very unhappy about this because Muller is the leader. Muller has been the leader in so many games for Bayern. He is the ultimate player. He's played so much experience, so why sub him off? Why not sub off someone like Daley Blind, who is slow? Nagelsmann blamed Muller's speed for him subbing off. Why not sub off Daley Blind? Bayern could have used his leadership in attack. We saw Musiala, Sane come on. They were ineffectual up front. Choupo-Moting, yeah, he scored, but he wasn't that effective. The attack isn't effective without Muller. Muller was on good form, so why sub him off? I don't quite understand. So overall, just a very disappointing performance from Nagelsmann and the team. I'm disappointed by this. I expected more from Bayern, and now we are in a bad position going into the match versus Union Berlin. They could be above us in the table. They could continue to beat us, and the Bundesliga form this year has been more than dodgy. Don't let one win versus PSG take away from the fact that Nagelsmann's tactics, like in this game with the wide open spaces, yes, he got the red card, but he should have reacted differently to it. Get a 4 back and play a 4-2-3 just without the 1. Yes, even if Muller is subbed, at least you have that defensive stability that we lacked in this game. So thank you for watching and goodbye, but I'm unimpressed by Bayern here today.